I didn't know how weird it was to tell people I was from Florida till I moved. We got a reputation, y'all. It's bad. You know what I'm saying? Because we're a weird place. Like, let's be honest. Florida's like the Kanye of the 50 states. Like, let's be honest, you know? It's like when I was young, I loved it. But the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't know if I can defend everything it's doing. You feel where I'm coming from? Florida and Kanye just have so many similarities when it comes to like how hard they are to root for. Does that make sense? It's like, yeah, they're both creative. They both love women with big booties, but they both tried to make the Confederate flag cool. It's like, I don't know. Mistakes were made. It's a tough thing to defend. That's all I'm getting at. I still get defensive for Florida. When I'm on the road, I actually do. I get defensive all the time. I just don't like it when people try to make it sound like all the crazy shit in the country only happens here. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that. Let's stop acting like you haven't been in your hometown and you're walking down the street and you saw some dude that made you go, oh, Jesus Christ, avoid that fucking guy. Oh my God. Was his dick sticking out his back pocket? Jesus, you saw that, right? It's just crazy to me. And then people try to cite Florida man stories as if that's the end all be all. Get the fuck out of here. They're like, well, what about Florida man? I hate that they say it as if all the other people in Florida aren't reading it thinking the exact same shit as them. It's like, well, what about Florida man? It's like, what about that nigga? He's crazy. Well, what about Florida man? He's out of his mind. I agree with you. It's so weird that they bring that up, you know what I mean? Because what's the easiest way to explain this? It's just, with Florida man stories, they don't make sense to me because they make it sound like what do they think we're thinking as we read it? Like, we're not relating. Like, none of us are reading the Florida man story, all these crimes, and going, nice, he finally did it. Oh, shit. All right, yeah. Dude, follow your dreams, baby. Jerry always said he wanted to throw an alligator through a drive-through window. And they told him he couldn't do it, but he persevered. It's so ridiculous, man. And then you'll hear people say like these dumb arguments. They'll be like, well, if our states are so crazy, why don't we hear as much about us? I asked the prosecutor. I'll tell you why. Did you know that everything that goes to court in this country is public record? Anything that goes to court, you can look it up if you know how. But, and this is what I didn't know, every state uses a different site. And it just so happens, according to this prosecutor, Florida has one of the easiest sites to search public records for, even if you have no experience looking up public records. So, you could do like a keyword search. You could go meth, eat, face. A case in Florida is gonna show up. But you could do that exact same search in another state. The case exists and it doesn't show up unless you know how to pry deeper to make it come out. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. The other states aren't less crazy. They're just better at keeping secrets. That's all it is. They're Bruce Jenner. We're Caitlyn. That's it. That's literally all we're talking about here. And I just don't like when they try to make it sound like it's only here. Have you read your news? I have. I've checked your sites and you've got some shit going down. Have you seen this guy in Colorado who he tricked out his bulldozer into a tank and he drove it through the houses and the businesses of everyone he thought wouldn't support his muffler store? You want to talk about Colorado, man? You see this guy in Massachusetts literally living in the walls of somebody else's house, would only come out at night to pretend to be the ghost of the dead mother of the 2 little girls that live there. We don't want to shout out like Massachusetts guy. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying if you're from another state, you're a bad person, but stop acting like it only happens in Florida. People are fucking dogs where you live too. That's a weird point to rally a crowd around, you know? Oh my God, dude. It does feel good to be back, man. Crazy people are everywhere, though. Be real. They don't hide behind the state lines. They're like, no, we're everywhere. You see the story about this cop in St. Louis? Cop in St. Louis sued his own precinct because his boss told him, on the clock, by the way, tone down your gayness. That is a direct quote. Tone down your gayness, his boss said to him with an HR department. Are you out of your fucking mind? But that was a direct quote. That's what he told him. So this cop sues the department. He wins the case, as he should, by the way. You know how much he was awarded? $19 million. You hear what I just heard? I can tell you what I just heard. I have not been acting gay enough at my work. $19 million, you said? I will do some almost gay things for $19 million. If I was a cop, you wouldn't even have to ask. I'll put rhinestones on my handcuffs. I don't give a shit. I'll do whatever I gotta do. I'll start macing everybody with Bath and Body Works. What's the thing? What do I gotta do? Everybody I bring to the precinct smells like apricot. I don't care. I'll get your Miranda rights wrong. I'll be like, you got the right to remain steamy. It's $19 million. You're not gonna do whatever it takes. I'll chase the siren of my cop car to an Ariana Grande song. I don't give a damn. You saw me chasing you down the street. You just hear bang, bang, hands on the roof. Like, I don't give a fuck. What are we talking about? It's $19 million. I'll spit on my nightstick before I use it. I'll be like, what seems to be the problem here? I'm just saying, that's a lot of money. I'm not gay or a cop. I want to be both of those things. Crazy people are everywhere. That's the only point I'm trying to make here. I don't like how people try to make Florida sound. Like, I live in LA now. I've been there for 5 years. The number one question I get asked when I tell people I'm from Florida, they go, oh, you're from one of the messed up schools where the teachers are fucking the students? I'm like, whoa! What? Fucking the students? I mean, yeah. Twice. And they're like, that's funny to you? And I go, it depends on the situation. And they're like, when's a teacher sleeping with a student ever funny? And I'm like, 7th grade. 7th grade, it's real funny, man. I'll tell you a real story. You can look it up on our site. When I was in 7th grade, we had a female teacher who slept with a male student. That's true. Class she taught, hardest math class we offered in the program. Student she slept with, smartest kid in the class. When the rest of us students found out what she did, none of us were like, how could she do this? We were all like, fuck, we should have studied harder. Oh, you're telling me that's what was at stake the whole time? Understand the point I'm trying to make here. I'm not saying teachers should be sleeping with students. I'm saying I've never been more motivated to learn. You feel? Bruh, she's giving out fellatio for ratios. You think I'm not gonna learn this material? Bro, I was studying for that class like I was an 8 Mile. I'm like, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to, bruh. You think I know Pythagorean theorem because I care what the hypotenuse of a right triangle is? You better grow up. I was trying to lay teenage pipe. Can I say some wild shit? Hear me out for a second. Look, I'm just saying, if we were more open-minded, we might have more kids that were caring about their education. You know what I mean? But we're not willing to do what it takes. Like, hear me out. If you fail a class, of course, you get summer school. But if you ace a class, come on. Summer school, what do you think? Like, be real with me. Fellas, you're not intrigued? Ladies, I know this doesn't work for y'all. I haven't thought of something yet. But fellas, you're not intrigued? A little bit? Like if a blowjob was waiting for you at the end of it, you wouldn't have paid a little more attention in geometry? Like, that's all I'm getting at here. You could turn the whole game, man. Now nerds are cool. I love the dynamic there. Nerds are cool now. Imagine you're walking down through the hallways. You got Poindexter glasses on, pocket protector, fucking calculator watch. All the jocks are staring at you like, damn, Sheldon be getting all the blowjobs, man. It's crazy, dog. I keep trying to learn algebra, but my dad keeps making me practice quarterback, the fucking dork. Right? I read an article a while back. Always stuck with me. This company did a study where they said only 30% of people in this country actually get to do their dream job. Did you know that? Only 30% of people in this entire country get to do their dream job. When I think about that and I see that y'all came out, I'm just grateful y'all came to support my backup plan, y'all, because that's this was not my dream job. Don't get me wrong, my career's going great. I'm happy, but this ain't what I dreamed. Get the fuck out of here. I never dreamed of telling people how gay I'd get for $19 million. Get out of here. Wasn't a kid just staring at the stars. One day, they're gonna know the price. But I was going to the NBA, man. The NBA, they had other thoughts. I still remember when I fell in love with basketball. I remember the day I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm 5 years old, right? I'm 5. Never heard of basketball. No one had ever introduced me to it. I get taken to a game. We get to sit close. I mean close. Like close enough to like, you get to see the game that you don't get to see on TV, you know what I'm saying? I still remember this as clear as day, right? I saw player A foul player B hard. And then I saw a ref call a foul on player A. And then I saw player A turn to the ref and go, suck my dick. And I was like, what game is this? What is this? I'm 5 years old, my mind's blown. I'm like, you can do that? I remember I look at the guy sitting next to me, I go like, he just said the thing. Is he not gonna get in trouble for that? And the guy next to me goes, nah, he's gonna be fine. I'm like, what game is this? I wanna do this when I grow up. What is this? The NBA might be the wildest workplace in America. We don't even talk about it. Think about what you've seen them get to do, cross-reference it with your job, tell me they're equals. Get the fuck out of here. I just saw a guy tell a coworker, suck my dick, and everybody who saw it went, you know how he is. What? What a free workplace. And I'm just saying, like, there's something to it. Like, the NBA is just a place where you could just sort of get away with almost anything. And I'm not saying it's, like, always gotta be bad. You could just sort of do anything. It's got a place there. When I was growing up, there was a player named Jason Terry, right? His nickname was the Jet. And anytime Jason Terry hit a three-pointer, you know how he'd celebrate? He'd spread his arms like they were the wings on a plane, and he would just run back down court as if he had flown away. He did that for 19 years. I need you to 19 years of a guy running through the office. Ah! Nobody stopped him. Not once. Nobody was like, Jason, where the fuck are you flying? Nigga, get back on defense. We're still playing. Not once for 2 decades. God, I want to do that so bad. I just love the idea of that. He got to do that for fucking 19 years. Oh. It's all I've ever wanted to do. You can't do that shit in comedy. I couldn't drop a punchline and be like, later. I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? It's all I ever dream of doing. I just want to tell somebody to suck my dick and fly away. That's all I've ever wanted. I want it for everybody. Dude, I tried to get to the league, man. I tried so hard. I really thought I was going to the NBA. Closest I got was a white girlfriend. I wasn't really... I mean, the scouts were like, that's a good start. Now next, we want you to stop this guy from scoring. I'm like, I mean, I'll try, but I'm better at the first thing. Can I be honest? Let's gauge this for a second before I ask. By round of applause, how many people here have ever dated somebody of another race before? Who's done it? Yeah? Okay. That's most of the crowd. All right. By the way, you're not a villain if you haven't. This isn't gonna be one of those things. I'm just trying to gauge this before I ask, all right? For those of you that have dated somebody of another race, have you ever gone out with that person and then you ran into somebody who just assumed that's all you're into? Like, you get what I'm saying? Where they're like, oh, you got a thing? You're like, oh, I didn't know I had a thing. You know? I run into it all the time. It's one of the biggest things in my dating life. People are always just like, JB? Yeah, JB only likes white girls. I'm like, that's not even true. I do like white girls, but I like women of every race. And then they'll get defensive. They're like, well, then why have your last 6 girlfriends been white? And I'm like, because that's who said yes. That's all I can do. It's like, what more do you want from me? What, am I supposed to date 6 black women that said no? We've got R. Kelly. What am I supposed to do? You feel me? Sorry, I'm not the king of R&B. I just don't understand. Like, why are you getting mad at me, man? All I can do is shine the bat signal. I don't control who shows up. This is how it played out. But I'm from the South. Like, I still don't understand, for the love of me, I don't understand how in this day and age, people still have an issue with interracial dating. Like, sure, plenty of people don't. But you know who I'm talking about. Plenty of people still do. And it blows my mind that that's still a thing. What's wrong? I can't even imagine. What's wrong with two cultures coming together? You know what I mean? It's like, teach me about health insurance. I'll teach you how to Dougie. Like, who's losing? Like, I don't even understand the logic of it. What's wrong with mixed kids? Mixed kids are just white kids that don't sunburn. It's gonna be all right. They're just black kids that go to supercuts. You're gonna outgrow it, my guy. You're gonna overcome. I just don't understand why we can't have a more honest and open conversation about interracial dating and why it's not a threat to anybody. It's so bizarre to me, you know? Like, I still think about that. Listen, man, if I had a baby with a woman of any race, I would love that baby to death. To death. But if I'm being honest with you, if I had a baby with a woman of another race, I would still be really fucking excited in the way I could be excited about that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm living it up. I'm taking advantage. Bro, I'm naming that motherfucker Blade. I'm calling him Daywalker. I'm doing all the things. Bro, I'm picking them up off the operating table. All of their strengths, none of their weaknesses. Like, I'm living it up. It's all love. But I'm basking in what it is. When else could I do it? It's just so weird when people try to confront you for dating someone who doesn't look like you. It's like, how is this even an issue? It's even more weird when it's your own people. It's like, how are you who I'm arguing with? I'll give you a story. Long time ago. This is years ago when I lived in Tampa. I remember I went to a mall with my girlfriend at the time, right? My girlfriend was white. And she was my girlfriend, is still white, to be clear. It sounded weird in my head. I'm just like, I'm pretty sure she's still doing the white thing. So we're at the mall, right? I remember she saw something in a display case that she wanted to check out. She goes to check it out. I don't go with her, right? I kind of just hang back. I just do like a general scan of the room. I'm just checking out where I'm at. You ever just look at, I don't know, what's the best way to describe it? You ever just like look around in the room you're hanging out with? You're just checking it out. You ever accidentally make eye contact with a stranger? Like, you ever hold each other hostage? You know what I mean? When you're just like, why won't we look away? What are our motives? You know, you're just caught in that moment. I lock eyes with this black dude, and the only way I can think to describe him is too excited to see me. That's the only way I can think. It's because what he did. This is what he did, right? We lock eyes, and as soon as we lock eyes, he goes, what the fuck is that? The fuck is that gesture? Who do you do that? Not a stranger. You don't do that to a stranger. Who was that for? Like, you know what you did? You do that when you catch Michelle Obama at the strip club. You're like, Michelle! You feel me? But not to me, random black man across the way. But that's what he did. And I just go like, okay, all right, you won that contest. I'm not gonna really be staring at you any longer. And I wait a couple seconds. I peek out the side of my eye and I'm like, oh shit, he's coming. All right, this dude is coming to me. He walks up to me. This dude said one of the most confusing things I've ever heard in my life. To this day, I'm so curious to see what you think of this. This guy walks up to me, I swear to God, so confident. He goes, hey brother, I ain't trying to start nothing, but you know when we see you out here having social intercourse with all these other races, you look racist. And I went, social intercourse? Have y'all ever heard that term? I had never heard social intercourse? That's an aggressive way to say hanging with friends, isn't it? I didn't know hanging with buddies could sound so sexual. I didn't know I was such a heartthrob in the social community. Yeah. Like, apparently, like, I lost my sexual virginity when I was 17, but I busted my first social nut when I was like 4. I had no idea there was such a difference. So I go, social intercourse? That's a weird word, man. He goes, call it what you want. What you're doing is racist. And I go, racist? And he goes, yeah. And I go, let me get this straight. It's racist for me to be out in public with somebody of another race. And he goes, mm-hmm. And I went, you're gonna have to give me a sec, man. I've never heard somebody be this wrong before. It was like 2012. I'm like, who hasn't seen Remember the Titans by now, my guy? Like, how are we struggling with this? But he doubles down. This is why I never forgot it. He goes, no, what you need to understand is when we see you walking in public with somebody of another race, it looks like you're embarrassed to be black. And I was like, what kind of mindfuck is this, my guy? Did that make sense to any of y'all? Okay, because it damn sure didn't make sense to me. I'm gonna talk about it. I just wanna make sure we're on the same page before I get fought. Let me say a couple things. Nobody of another race has the power to make you feel embarrassed of your own race. Let me make that very clear. You feel about you the way that you feel about you. You know what's wild though? You know who does have the power to make you feel embarrassed of your own race? People in your own race. Isn't it wild how accurate that is? We've all got representatives that made us go, no, the fuck you don't speak for me. Get the fuck out of here with that. What? We've all got those. You ever heard Kanye? Are you always relating? Or you're like, what the fuck he just say? Remember when he said slavery was a choice? Do you remember how many black people came to his rescue? Me neither. That's my point, dude. We cut that nigga off like Subway did Jared. But you do remember how he handled it? We were like, he did what? And there's proof? Oh, no. The actions of this individual do not reflect. Dude, we cut him right out. Can I give you an example for white people? I can't speak for you. I'm just throwing it out there. I think this is a great one. Let's see how you do. Remember when George W. Bush was president? Remember that? Remember when he did that interview? He said this verbatim. He goes, fool me once. Shame on. Shame on you. Fool me. Can't get fooled again. That's a direct quote. That's a direct quote. I had to Google that to make sure I got it right how wrong he said it. And all I'm saying is if you're a George W. supporter or not, can we just agree that you didn't feel well represented? That's the point I'm getting at. I think we all heard that and went, he could have said that a little better, I think. Might want to run that one back. So what have we learned? Somebody of another race doesn't have the power to make you feel embarrassed of your own race. Somebody of your own race does have the power to make you feel embarrassed of your own race. Did you know there's a third thing? Did you know somebody of another race does have the power to make you feel more proud to be your own race? You ever seen somebody do something and gone, whew, glad I'm me? We've all done it. Doesn't make you bad, but it's something we've all done, right? And that's what I told this guy. I said, how could I be embarrassed of being black when this white woman actually made me feel more proud to be black than I've ever got to feel? Ooh, that fucked him up. Oh, if you could have saw his face. What? And he goes, how? And I go, how what? He goes, how could a white woman ever make you feel more proud to be black than you've ever felt in your life? And I went, I'll tell you, she gave me a blowjob during the movie Django Unchained. Like, I need you to really process how special that is. You get what I'm saying? Like, look, that ain't an oppressor. That's a freedom fighter if I've ever seen one. You ever seen somebody fight racism like it's a snake bite? She's like, calm down, I'll suck it out. I'm like, what the fuck? Wait, what? Huh? Bro, y'all don't know pleasure. I don't care what kind of sex you've had. You don't know pleasure until you've got to watch a slave master get shot while getting your dick sucked by somebody that looks like his daughter. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I wish my ancestors saw that moment. I wish they were looking down from heaven. Well, look at that. Well, how about, go on and get it, young man. God, what an ally. I still don't think she's getting enough credit. If I'm being totally honest, I don't think everyone's really processing what she did. What a moment, historically. For race relations, are you processing what just happened? We should be teaching students about her in textbooks. Do you understand what that moment was? It should say Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Brittany with an I. It should be all of them. Yo, these were freedom fighters. They all had very different tactics for fighting racism. One guy was like, turn the other cheek. Another guy was like, fight fire with fire. And Brittany was like, blup, blup. Love Brittany. I just don't think she's getting enough credit. That's all I'm trying to say. She deserves a little more credit than she's getting, you know? Just imagine, there's enough white women in here. Put yourself in her shoes for a second. Imagine you see a black man who's upset over slavery, and you think, I'm gonna change that. And then you do. But do you understand what I'm saying? I used to hate slavery movies. Oh, what a fucking bummer. And now anytime one comes out, I'm like, oh, date night. Baby, put your nice dress on. 13 Years a Slave just came out. Yeah, 13, it's a sequel. Yeah, they franchised it. They're doing the whole thing. Get that throat ready. I heard it goes up to 400. It's a great history joke. As a person who is a proud black man that's unwavering, I'm not ashamed of where I came from, I'm not ashamed of who I am, but I grew up in mixed neighborhoods. I went to mixed schools. I played for mixed sports teams. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the product of what this country's actually supposed to be. I'm trying to love everybody. That's where I'm coming from. As a person who is actively trying to show love for everybody, I hate it when I see us get in arguments that are meant to divide us by race. Does that make sense? Where it feels like whatever powers that be are more focused on splitting us apart than showing us a way to come together. And I just find it frustrating, especially when it seems like the answers are so right there in front of us. If we just took the time to listen to each other and realize we actually agree on way more than we disagree on. I'll give you an example, all right? I mean that. Like, I think anytime I see somebody get offended at the concept of white privilege, I don't understand why they're upset, because it's not an attack. And I think it keeps getting mistaken for an attack. And I don't think people understand what it is, right? By definition, privilege is just when the world allows you to do something specific, easier than someone else. Doesn't mean it was easy. It's just easier for you than someone else. That's it. By that definition, we literally all have privilege. You understand what I'm saying? We just have different privileges. So that's why I don't see why it's something worth arguing if someone brings yours up, because we all get our turns for it to be our thing. So you can't be like it doesn't exist. Of course it exists. You don't think there's black privilege? Dog, I love black privilege. Did you know I could go to any white wedding I want? I can go to any white wedding I want. Hop right on the dance floor, start doing whatever dance moves I want to do. Everybody at the party's got to be like, he's good. That's black privilege, man. Doesn't matter what I do, they think I'm good. Let's take black people out of it, right? Take them out of the equation. Let's give another example. Let's say hypothetically, we're watching the National Spelling Bee. There's only 2 kids left. There's a white kid, and there's an Indian kid. Be honest with yourself. Your life's on the line. Who you putting your money on? That's Indian privilege. You feel me? Let's say hypothetically after this, we go out to drink. We're having a great time. We're partying, we're being merry, we're getting to know each other. 2 random women just start making out of nowhere. Oh, they are fun. Then 2 random guys start making out of nowhere. Oh, they are gay. That's female privilege. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? I'm saying privilege exists in every direction. And the only thing I'm trying to add to this conversation is if you just stop getting defensive when yours gets brought up and you start being willing to have a sense of humor about yourself, you would start to notice how funny all of this can be. And isn't the world better with people who are willing to have a sense of humor about themselves? So just be those people. That's all I'm trying to say. You feel me? Thanks, man. Can I give you an example of white privilege that makes me laugh? I love you. It's not an attack. But let's see how you do. I think white people are the only race of people that like to be scared for fun. Like, you feel me? Not an attack. Doesn't make you bad. Makes you interesting. But not bad, but bungee jumping, skydiving, swimming with sharks, these are torture tactics. Some of you pay for them. That's a curveball. I just think white people get to have a different relationship with fear. Doesn't make anyone bad. I just think it's an interesting observation. White people can have a different relationship with fear. Like, I think white people are the only people you could walk up to and just be like, hey, you want to do something scary today? And y'all won't just outright say no. You feel me? You'll be like, well, what do you got in mind? You feel me? But like, you go to anybody of another race, they're like, fuck no. But like, white people have follow-up questions sometimes. They're like, well, what are you thinking? Okay. Look at roller coasters, right? Theme park owners know white people love being scared so much, you'll pay for a picture of your own face terrified. That's their business model. That's how reliable it is. They were like, yeah, that's where we're gonna get the rest of the money. I've been in so many white homes and seen a framed picture of the entire family terrified. Why? Why is that even a thing? I haven't been in one black family's home and seen a picture of 4 black people absolutely terrified. And they're like, yeah, that's the time I got stuck up at gunpoint, right there. That's us. This is where I tried to sell my kids for my own life. So wild to me, man. And understand what I'm saying, because I understand I'm generally speaking, right? I'm speaking in generalities. I understand there's special case scenarios for everything. So please, like, I'm not being irresponsible with this. Just be on the same page with me. I'm just saying, generally speaking, though, that kind of holds true. I'm saying, generally speaking, I feel like white people feel fear so rarely that y'all schedule it as a vacation activity. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, literally put it on a schedule. You're like, at 12, we're gonna have lunch. At 1, we're gonna pet a tiger. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? A tiger? Huh? You know what no one black has ever said to me? I wanna go on a safari. Not once. I got so many black friends, no one's ever wanted to go. It's our country, and we're like, nah. But I have so many white friends that want to go. Doesn't make them bad. I'm just saying it's an interesting difference that you can spot and go, oh shit, okay. Why doesn't a safari sound insane to everybody? I didn't realize it was something we were so like polarized on. I thought we were all of the same mind, like that's fucking crazy. And apparently we don't agree. I never understood like why it isn't crazy. You wanna go to the zoo without the walls? That's what we wanna do? You want to take away my favorite part of the zoo? The part where they can't get me? That's what we're taking away? Oh, all right. Every time I go to the zoo, people are looking at the animals. I'm looking at the structures. I'm like, that's a good wall. Like that net, love that glass. I've never understood it. Why doesn't a safari sound dangerous to everybody? It's not even a safe web browser. You feel me? You ever open up Safari in front of somebody with Firefox? They're like, what the fuck are you doing, man? They make it sound like you just fucked a hooker with no condom. They're like, well, close it, throw it away. Who knows what's in there now? It's so wild to me. I'll entertain it. Like, I'll talk to my white friends. Their defenses are so bad. And I'm not saying these are all white people's defenses. I'm saying you wouldn't want to be represented by my white friends. That's what I'm saying. The stuff they argue, I go, that's a bad one. They'd be like, just go on a safari. You're gonna be fine. I'm like, based on what? They're like, you got a tour guide. I'm like, that nigga's not a wall. It's like, what do you think's gonna happen if a lion saw us and was like, oh, I'm about to eat these motherfuckers? You think he's just gonna be coming at y'all and be like, oh shit, they brought the guy. God damn it. Hey, wrap it up, guys. They brought the fucking guy. You don't think the lion just sees more food? That's what I can't get. Like, that's not how your brain works. You think if a lion saw a black tour guide and 2 white tourists, you don't think he's going, oh shit, dark meat and mashed potatoes? Oh, fuck. Looks like KFC came to me. Like, what are we talking about, you know? What do you think the tour guide's gonna do? Entertain him for a second. You don't think that's just a guy on the clock? You think that guy actually cares about your livelihood? A lion's coming at y'all, he sees it. You think this dude's just gonna step in the way? Oh, no, 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 lion. No, 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 lion. Not today, lion. You eat zebra, liar. Zebra, black and white. These people, just white, no good. No good. That's why we bring you mixed kid. Blade! Blade! Where has Blade gone? It's so fucking stupid. It just makes me laugh. Like, I'm just fucking around, but you get where I'm coming from, right? Like, you get the point I'm getting at. That's all I'm saying. I just think fear is such a great example for us to explore the concept of privilege, where everybody can see it and realize no one's the villain, but you can identify the differences. I just think it's a great example, you know? Can I tell you something real wild? I got a wild theory. I think I'm onto something, I just don't know how to prove it. But I think I figured something out. I think I know why each race has a different relationship with fear, especially fear for fun. I think I can see what it is. It's kind of a wild theory, but I think I'm onto it. I think if you come from an oppressed group, you've never been so bored with life that you're willing to risk yours. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know Jews that like escape rooms. Y'all know y'all came to a comedy show, right? Like, I'm not running for office. I'm not the guy. I'm just here to make the funny points. I think I'm on something. I don't know Jews that like escape rooms. I don't know black people that are into bondage. Whips and chains, you said. Fool me once. I don't know any Mexicans that want to do a Tough Mudder. That's a real good one. Like, if you know what a Tough Mudder is, that's on point. If you don't know what a Tough Mudder is, just so we're on the same page, a Tough Mudder, it's one of those races you do out in the middle of nowhere. It's a foot race where you're just going through an obstacle course. You're going through like water hazards, running over hills, running through like electrified fences. I don't know one Mexican who's like, again? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do it. They're like, get the fuck out of here. I did that to get in, not fit in. Fuck out of here, my guy. All I'm trying to get at here, I'm not trying to attack anybody. I just want us to understand this concept better so we can get past it, right? Anytime I see somebody online or on TV or wherever say that privilege doesn't exist, I need you to understand, you're not a bad person, but you are wrong. All right, I'm not trying to come at you, but you are actually wrong and you sound ridiculous to people who do understand. Just take the time to understand, all right? Privilege exists. Bro, I'm a 6'3" black man. There's not one person in here that thinks my dick's small. That's my privilege. I get big dick privilege. Doesn't matter if you're right or not. You didn't think it. That's my privilege, man. If I was an Asian comic saying all this same shit, you wouldn't have thought the same thing? Beyond, there's not one woman in here who's been at a bar, seen an Asian dude and been like, oh, he might dick me down. And he might. He might do it, but you weren't thinking it. That's my privilege. I get big dick privilege. It's a hardship I have to work over every day. Trying to overcome. But when you say privilege doesn't exist, you know what I always think of? It's always this story. It's such a banana story. When I was a kid, I remember telling my dad what my dream job was, okay? I told him I was 5 years old. I told him I wanted to be in the NBA. My dad is a black man from Alabama in the 1940s, okay? He's not a big dreamer, right? He's a very practical man. His vibe is more like, survive. I'm like, okay. That's what he's like. And I remember I told him I wanted to be an NBA player. You know what he told me? Just have a backup plan. I was like, God damn, can I dream for a little bit? I'm 5. But that's what he felt like he needed to communicate to me based on his experiences in this country as a black man. Fair enough. I accept that perspective. I hear you. Meanwhile, my best friend, next door neighbor, I was there when this happened. I remember seeing him tell his dad what he wanted to be. He said that he wanted to be the first black president in US history. You know what his dad told him? Anything you put your mind to, you can achieve. Isn't that beautiful? But that kid was white. Don't tell me white privilege doesn't exist, my guy. I was there. I saw that shit with my own eyes. I saw this white father, who is a good man, I still talk to him to this day, see his white son look at him and go, I want to be the first black leader of the free world. And with me still in the room, he looks at his son and goes, well, if you just work hard enough. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Tell this kid no. Tell him that one's not for him. Couldn't do it. Privilege is just such an interesting topic, and I don't want to harp on it too much longer, but I just want to drive this point home, okay? I do feel like if we're being fair to both sides, there are privileges that white people do get attacked for, and I don't think it's fair. If we're being critical of both sides and we're trying to come together, right? I do think there's one thing I've seen y'all do that I do find very funny, and I hope you find it as funny as I do. And I don't think it's fair that you do get slacked for it. I do think white people are the only race of people that I have seen get offended on behalf of a group they are not a part of. Like, you know who to picture, right? That's all I'm saying. But here's the thing, I don't think that's something to attack you for, because I believe at its core, that's something of goodwill. That just meant you cared for another group of people. You were trying to speak on their behalf because you thought you were doing right by them, right? That's a good thing. That's nothing to attack you for. It may not be the way we want you to do it, but that's okay, right? And here's the thing about it, it's a really complicated situation, because if you look online, you see this happen all the time. White people will do something on behalf of black people will go, don't do that. And then white people go, oh, my bad, what would you prefer me do? And black people go, I don't know. And then we're just left nowhere. But both of those sides are fair, to be clear. Those are both fair dispositions. Sometimes it's hard to come up with a resolution. You just know when someone isn't doing the right one. That's fair. And it's fair to care and not know what to do. So it still leaves us in the same place of what do you do when you're trying to have someone else's back. I think I came up with something. Hear me out here, all right? Listen, I think this is a universal way to show support for a group you're not a part of. You can use this in any group. I don't know anyone who would turn this down. And I don't know what you do after this, but you can always start with this. I'll give you an example. As a black person, if I'm there, I don't like it when I see somebody white tell somebody else white that they can't say the N-word. Because that's my line. You feel me? Like, that's what I get to say. Why are you trying to upstage me, man? This is my big moment. You know what I need you to do? I need you to say motherfucker after my line. That's support. You get what I'm saying? Dude, I get to go, you don't get to call me a nigger, and then you come in like, motherfucker, and I'll be like, okay, so now I feel strong. I feel supported. We're a team. You feel what I'm saying? I'm done with allies. Be my motherfucker. I need more of those. That's what I need. Because I don't think there's anything scarier to a racist person than a black man with a white army. He'd be like, oh, fuck, his cause must be good. I think that's actually scary. Stop being my ally. Be my motherfucker. I don't know when I started caring about all this kind of shit. If you saw my show like 5 years ago, I wasn't talking about nothing like this, you know? I don't know what happens. I got older, I don't know, started voting. You start voting, you're like, all right, I'm gonna throw some opinions out of here because I'm hearing some wild shit. It's weird as you age, the way your priorities change, the way your life changes. I'm not trying to be like aging sucks. I'm cool with it, but it is weird the ways in which you'll age that you didn't anticipate. Does that make sense? Those are the ones that are weird for me. Like the regular one, like my knees are sore. I gotta wake up early. I'll probably go to a matinee. Like those are I'm fine. I was ready for that. But the weird ones where I'm like, nobody told me that was part of it. What the fuck is going on with me? Like the other day I heard a rap song I couldn't relate to one part of. I was like, what the fuck was that? That's a weird moment of self-realization. Look, I don't know if you've ever been black before. I've done it my whole life. You know? If you hear an entire rap song and you end up going, shit, I don't think any of that was for me. What a weird moment in your black existence of like, where do I fit into this? I still remember what the guy said. I swear to God, I think you'll relate. I remember he went, I got an actress on my mattress. I'm gonna hit it 3 times in one night. That's a hat trick. And my brain just went, exhausting. That's all I felt. 3 times in one night, I was like, not for me. That's crazy. 3 times, bruh, you don't got work in the morning? Nobody's pussy's better than sleep. I'll tell you right now. And that's not an attack. The older you get, the truer that rings, and you fucking know it. That's not an attack. Ladies, I'm sure your pussy's great. Sleep is good. I like sleep more than sex, and it ain't even close. I know that. You know how I know I like sleep more than sex? I go to sleep every day. I don't miss one. I only have sex sometimes. And even when I have sex, when I'm done, I'm like, God damn, I want to go to sleep. If that song was about me, it would have been like, I got an actress on my mattress. I'm gonna hit it one time, then I'm napping. That's my entire... I'm like, yo, hey. Trying to hit them NyQuil bars, bruh. I just think it's so weird to see the things that make you change as you get older. I think it's weird to look at other people your age and see the shit they care about versus the shit you care about. You ever seen that? You ever on Facebook and you're like, what are they fucking ranting about? You ever have those moments where like, this is the hill you want to die on? This is the cause you stand for of all the things? Have you seen this group of people that's trying to get Disney's Snow White canceled? Oh my God, I'm losing my mind over it. There are adults, our age, voters, people whose votes count the same as yours. They're out here trying to bring down a cartoon. They're so dedicated. Have you heard the argument? She never gave consent to the kiss that woke her up. That's what they're arguing. Now listen, I'm not trying to be on the wrong side of an issue. I'm not trying to sound like I got some hot takes. I'm just saying, you've all seen the movie, right? We've all seen Snow White. All I'm saying, it really feels like they're leaving out the whole he did it to save her life part, huh? Is that not a crucial detail in the context of that circumstance? Like if you were the prince and that happened to you, wouldn't you want to confront her like, hey, you want to explain the rest of that though so I don't sound like a creep? Appreciate that, because you got me out here sounding like Bill Cosby right now. And I'm just saying, that dude was putting them to sleep. I'm just waking him up. This is a totally different thing. I don't think you should be allowed to make someone who attempted to save your life out to be a predator. That's the only line in the sand I'm drawing here. I think that deserves to be defended. If I tried to save you, I'm not a creep. When I was a kid, when I was 7, right? I grew up in Tampa. When I was 7, I was at the beach, right? And I remember I was swimming in the ocean. I'm swimming poorly, if I'm being honest. I'm drowning, let's be honest. I'm drowning. I'm for sure drowning. I passed out. I sunk under the water. I had to be saved by a male lifeguard. I shit you not, I woke up on the beach to a male lifeguard giving me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And when I came to, I completely understood what that situation was. There was no confusion. I wasn't like, oh, nigga, I'll see you in court. Okay. You ever heard of Me Too? Well, Me 3 now, bruh. I just think it's such a weird circumstance to like, this is the hill you want to die on for this argument? I'm not against consent culture. I'm asking, is this where you really want to make your stand? Within this premise? That's what's odd about it to me, you know? Like, have y'all gone back and watched the movie, like as adults? It's weird, man. It's real weird. Do you remember what the curse is? True love's kiss will wake her up. That's real specific. Like, they really narrowed down the danger that could have come. You got to be pretty sure to go for it. It's not like they went, hey man, first one to kiss her gets to keep her. Then a bunch of dudes started marching to get to her first. My hoe, back off. Okay, you get it. I'm just saying, it's just such a weird place to make your argument. And I can understand, to be clear, I can understand where you're coming from if you were just like, I just wish it wasn't a kiss that he had to do to save her. I can appreciate that. I'm just saying, but can you stop making it sound like he squeezed a titty when he did it? That's more where I'm coming from, you know? I want to make this very clear, because this is a tricky topic to make jokes about, obviously. At the end of the day, I understand my place within this premise, right? I'm a man lightly making jokes about sexual assault. I understand that. And I can never put myself in the position of a woman in relation to a topic like this. I understand that. All I can do is empathize the best I can from the perspective that I have. And that's as a black man in this country. And I'm just saying, as a black man in this country, I don't get what you're talking about. Let me say hypothetically, right? Hypothetically speaking, I'm in a coma. I'm dying. And you say the only way to save me is for a white dude to whisper the N-word in my ear. Do you see what I'm saying? Here's the kicker. If we're being honest, I don't need him to ask for my permission. My life's on the line. There are bigger priorities at hand. Do what you gotta do. Bro, I don't care if you whisper. Get on all fours for all I care. Nigger! Nigger! I'd be like, hey, I heard you the first time, Steve. Goddamn. Can you give me a sec to wake up? I take a second. No, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but we're gonna talk about that second one. You don't get to call me two niggers, and then y'all would say, look at my army foreman, dog. Look at us. That's how you fucking do it. That's a weird example. Let me give you a better one. I just wanted to see what you were gonna do. Let's say hypothetically, I'm in a coma, and I'm dying. And you say, the only way to save me is true love's kiss, just like the movie. I assume y'all would want that handled the exact same way I would want that handled. I would want somebody to go round up everybody in town, form a line, take my weekend at Bernie's body, prop that shit up in a kissing booth, put some cool-ass shades on that motherfucker, look back at the line and go, all right, everybody without herpes goes first. You feel me? Is that not what you would want? Like, let's be real for a second. I want to make it very clear. I am not against consent culture. On the contrary, couldn't be more for it. But that's not the place to make your stand. I do think after all of the allegations we've heard from women over the last couple years, men should be making more of a point to showcase to women how much we do have your backs, how much you are going to see like a change in the behavior you've been encountering, even if we're not the individuals responsible for it. What I'm getting at is that we need to show that we have your backs. You feel me? But the question then becomes, how do we show you that? Here's what I'm pitching. Men, start making consent your biggest kink. Take a sec, process what I'm saying. Start making consent the kinkiest shit that you're into. Start being a fucking freak for yeses, you feel me? Like after the Me Too movement, show them what you've learned. Anytime a woman goes, how do you like it? I'm like, with permission. Like I lean in. I lean in. Bro, I don't unzip it till you say please. You could be like, get over here and fuck me. I'd be like, is that how we ask? At this point, having sex with me is like binge watching Netflix. Every so often, I interrupt the flow just to be like, do you still want this? Yes or cancel. Are you awake? I'm joking, I'm fucking around. It's a good question to ask. This is all I'm trying to get at as a whole, right? Like, I think it's very clear that I'm a liberal person, right? But if I could say anything in an effort to bring us together, whether you're conservative or whether you're liberal, any of that shit, man, like, all I'm trying to suggest to bring us together is that if you look out at whatever's going on in society, the culture that you are in, and you feel change coming, you're certain it's coming. No matter how you feel, that is gonna be a regularity. It's not gonna hurt you to learn something so that you can be a part of it. You understand? You don't even gotta believe in it, but you're gonna have to coexist with these exact same people. It's not gonna hurt you to understand their stuff better. Does that make sense? That's all I'm trying to get at, because when you don't know what you're talking about, it's fucking jarring. And I just need you to understand, stop being that person. We've all done it. Why are we continuously trying to do that again? I was in Kansas City a couple months ago. I flew in to do a show. I get off the plane. I order an Uber. I get this alert on my phone, this notification. It says, Frog will be here in 5 minutes to pick you up. And I'm like, Frog? I'm looking at the picture. It's a picture of a woman, right? It says Frog. It's a picture of a person I believe identifies as a woman, let's be honest, right? But it's Frog. It's what it says. I'm not reading it wrong. It's not a tough word. Frog. And I'm thinking about it, like I'm having this debate in my head, and I'm going like, I mean, she ain't hurting anybody, you know, it's a non-binary name. No one's getting hurt. If you want to be called Frog, you're Frog. I accept you, Frog. I can't wait to meet you. Put my phone away. I go out. I wait for the car to show up. She pulls up. I open the car door, I lean inside, I go, hey, how you doing? She looks back and goes, ribbit? I went, nope, close the car door. Too much progress in that car. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying she did something wrong. I'm saying I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the journey Frog was gonna take me on. But had I done more research, who knows where we could have ended up? I don't have more story because I was ill-prepared. That's all I'm getting at. It's not gonna hurt you to learn. Some progressive things, they're the wildest shit you've ever seen, but they're kinda cool. I did a show in Denver once. One of my best friends lives around the corner from a club, right? We do a show, we come out, it's 11:30 at night. I'm watching him walk home to his house, right? He gotta go around the corner. As soon as he gets to the end of the street, I shit you not, this is gonna sound made up. This is exactly what happened, right? As soon as he got to the end of the street, I saw 7 teenagers, all on scooters, like bird scooters. They ride from around a corner, they ride up to him, and then they just started circling around him. It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. In real time, in nature, this is happening. They just rode up to him. I watched 7 children kidnap my adult friend, and I had no idea how to advise him. He's like looking back at me like, ah, and I'm like, I think they got you, man. I think they just got you. I've seen Animal Planet. I know this isn't a good thing. I don't know where it leads, but I know you're bad. You know what they started doing? One of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. They just started bullying him. Like verbally bullying a grown man. I'd never seen something like this in my life. They just started going, you're gay. You're gay. And can I just say, side note, to see anyone riding a scooter going, you're gay, just what? What am I looking at? Like, I'm not against you, but come on, this is, huh? You're gay. What? I'm seeing 7 of them do it. And they just keep going, you're gay, you're gay. And what this dude said back, y'all, I'll never forget this the rest of my life. This might be the most progressive thing I have ever heard in my life. They go, you're gay. And he goes, that's your opinion. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Did anybody else know that was an option of things? You could say back to you're gay, that's your opinion? What an insane way to win the argument. Because he won, be clear. That was a victory, but like that? That'd be like if somebody called me a nigger and I just went, to each their own. What? That's what I saw. You know what I learned? Did you know that no one can insult you if they aren't convinced that you understand that was an insult? Did you know all you've ever had to do is say crazy shit back and no one could ever hurt you? Dude, it happened to me the other day. Some dude called me a jungle monkey. I was like, tomato, tomato. It's like, how do you attack that guy? You feel me? Some dude's like, you a little pussy boy. I'm like, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You can't get him, you know? Some dude's like, you can't read? I'm like, you're not my real dad. Love it. I just don't think progress is such a bad thing when you start to understand it more. That's all I'm really getting at. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to sway you. Whatever you vote, you vote. That's what you do, right? I'm just saying I don't think it's actually that bad a thing when you just have an open heart to it and you go like, oh shit, is that what's going on? One of the things I hate is like when we get labeled as a whole, like as a liberal. When people go like liberals, you know what I mean? Libtards, all that shit. And like we're just gonna be like, yeah, that's me. I hate it when we get lumped together as if we're not all individuals who have their own minds, who have their own string of logic, who have their own priorities. That irks me. You think all liberals agree? We don't. We bicker all the time. We don't have the same priorities. That's crazy to me. I'll give you one of mine. Look, I came from Florida and then moved to California. I thought I was liberal, and then I got there, and I was like, ooh, I'm liberal for Florida. It's a different thing. It is a different thing, you know? Here's my big one. I don't understand how drinking from plastic straws equals I hate turtles. It's too big a leap for me, man. There's too much in between there. I don't hate turtles, I'm just too black to care about this right now. I've got my own things going on, you know what I mean? That's all I'm getting at. No one's saying green lives don't matter, but black lives called it first, nigga, get in line. I've been here a while. And just to be clear, you ain't next in line, turtles. We still got women and gay people. The Amazon rainforest was on fire. You gonna be here a while, turtles. I just don't understand that notion. No one's saying we should care less about turtles. I'm saying we should care more about me. And I can't believe I gotta make that case sometime. Like, okay, let's say hypothetically, if Martin Luther King Jr. was still alive to this day, and he saw how gung-ho we were for saving sea turtles from plastic, while racism still exists, don't you feel like he'd be like, you motherfuckers have gotta be kidding me? Like on some level, that dude would be upset, right? That's all I'm saying, so we can sense it. I hate that I have to defend myself from these straw people. I don't know what else to call them. Like, I've been called out 7 times for it. 7, I'm counting. 7 times I've been in a bar, I'm sipping on a Sprite, some woman walks up to me, she's always white, let's be honest, but she's always, it just is what it is. I'm not saying she's bad, but why is she always white? She comes up to me, she confronts me about it. She goes, did you really need a drink from that? I go, I'm sorry? She goes, did you really need a drink from a plastic straw? I don't even listen, I just take a knee. I'm like, I'm not gonna be a part of this. I'm not gonna, just don't do it. She doesn't get to say that. Like, I understand, she cares about turtles, but that's not your fight to bring to me. If a turtle came up and was like, you can't drink from a plastic straw, and then she was like, motherfucker, I'd be like, okay, I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. Fuck, no, shit. Fuck. But that's not what happens. I just don't get it, it's not fair. You don't get to decide how I feel about turtles. You don't fucking know me. You don't know what I've done. I'll give you a crazy story. When I was a kid, I had to stay with a family member who was requested to stay anonymous in this story because I told him it was going in the special, and he was like, I need my job. You'll stay anonymous, my guy. But he should be ashamed of himself. I stayed over his house for a summer, okay? He has a pool in the backyard. It's one morning, we wake up, we look in the backyard, there's a pool. Excuse me, there's a pool. There's clearly a pool. There's a turtle wandering around the pool, right? It's just a regular turtle, to be clear. Just a turtle. It's not hurting anybody. It's not like a big turtle. It's not small. It's just a turtle. Just wandering around. You'd have thought this dude had just like stumbled upon like an actual home invasion. He's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Who the fuck does he think he is? I heard an adult man say that sentence about a turtle. Who the fuck does he think he is? About a turtle? He storms off to the phone. He calls up animal control. I shit you not. He goes, y'all need to get this fucking turtle out my yard or I'ma shoot it. He started the conversation with that. Not who he is, not where he's located. None of that information was important. They need to know if they don't get this fucking turtle out his yard, he's gonna shoot it. I hear the woman on the other side of the line. By the way, I'm 7. I'm watching this like, adults are crazy. I hear the woman on the other line. You know what she does? I shit you not, I can hear it. It's so funny. She just goes, good luck to you, sir. Hangs up the phone. I was like, oh, she called his bluff. I swear to God, I watched an adult man have a fucking meltdown, actually. I knew what a meltdown was when I was 7, because I saw him go, what? Yeah, what the fuck? I gotta shoot this turtle. I saw his brain, like, come to that conclusion in real time. I gotta shoot this turtle. And just to be clear, it ain't a special turtle, just a fight, no Ninja Turtle, just a Danny DeVito looking turtle, the thing you're thinking of, all right? This dude storms off to his bedroom. He takes a couple seconds, comes back, he's got a fucking handgun. He's got an actual handgun, it's big gun. He's walking straight for the back door. And then I stepped in his way. I was like, hey, you can't shoot a turtle. Sentence I never thought I'd have to say in my life. Can't shoot a turtle. This dude goes, you're right. You shoot the turtle. I'm joking. Could you imagine? It's time to be a man. I get in his way. I say, you can't shoot a turtle. And he goes, all right. Goes back to his room. puts his gun away. You understand what I'm saying? The fuck have you done for turtles? I earned my fucking straw. If you don't like it, you can suck my dick.